Eto mga sangkay, matindi to. Buong puwersa ng kasundaluhan ng Israel, sabay-sabay na nga bang papasukin ang Gaza na kung saan pinagkukutaan nitong Hamas? Bago tayo magsimula mga sangkay, pag-subscribe po muna yung ating YouTube channel. Okay, tingnan nyo po sa ibaba, mayroon po diyang subscribe button. Ito mismong pinapanood nyo. I-click nyo po yung subscribe button, tapos i-click nyo yung bell at i-click nyo po yung all. Ulitin ko mga sangkay, click the subscribe down below, click the bell and click all. At kung kayo ay nanonood sa Facebook, don't forget to follow our Facebook page. So, eto mga sangkay, tingnan po natin itong balita na anumang oras papasukin na nga ba nitong Israel military or Israeli military forces ang Gaza, na kung saan ito po yung northern part ng Gaza na pinagkukutaan mismo nitong Hamas. So ito, panoorin po natin ang balita.
NBC News correspondent Jay Gray joins us now from Ashdod, Israel, with the latest. So Jay, let's start with Secretary Blinken's surprise visit to the West Bank and to Baghdad. What were Blinken's goals in meeting with Palestinian and Iraqi Palestinian leaders, and what are we learning about his meeting today in Turkey?
Yeah, and let's start in the West Bank. Thanks, Joe. And the message was very clear. He was saying that Palestinians cannot be forcibly removed from Gaza, that they need to stay there and establish their place.
Okay, ano sinabi? Ito po yung Secretary Blinken, okay? Ito yung United States Secretary. Ito yung kanyang ginagawa ngayon. Bumibisita po siya sa Middle East. Yung mga Arab countries, mga sangkay. Tingnan po natin kung ano ang kanyang ginagawa.
He was saying that Palestinians cannot be forcibly removed from Gaza, that they need to stay there and establish their place. He talked about ending some of the violence in the West Bank, concern over Palestinians who have been facing some extremist violence there from Israeli settlers, and spoke candidly about the Palestinian Authority having some control in a new government in Gaza. So trying to shape what things may look like after this war is over, though no one thinks we're anywhere close there. His stop in Baghdad, obviously, was to speak with U.S. troops on the ground there, survey the situation, and relay his concerns about violence spreading across that region and concerns about the violence actually turning into separate fronts in this war. So that was a part of the major discussion there. And then in Turkey, a place that has been more vocal about its opposition to this war than many other countries. They have said there's got to be an immediate ceasefire. They've ended all diplomatic relations with Israel.
So, marami talaga mga leader, mga sangkay, gusto po nila magkaroon ng pag-uusap ang Israel at Hamas para magkaroon po ng ceasefire. Kaya nga lang, talagang desidido po ang Israel Kasi ang inaano nila dito mga sangkay, para daw pong ang nangyari sa kanila ay parang nangyari po nung Pearl Harbor. If you know that story, mga sangkay, nung World War II, nung biglang inatake po ang kampo ng Amerika nitong Japan. So, inihalintulad po nila mga sangkay kung saan biglaan lang po talaga, di ba? 5,000 mahigit or 7,000 na rockets ang pinalipad. Kaya po hindi na intercept ng Iron Dome. So ngayon, maraming leader, kagaya po ni Blinken, I don't know, kasi ang stand po niya dito mga sangkay, ayaw po niya magkaroon ng tigil putukan, mga sangkay, ang Israel at Hamas. Kasi nga po, mas nakakatakot ang mangyayari kung ititigil. Kaya nga lang, I don't know, paano niya kakausapin mga sangkay, kasi yung mga leader ng Palestinians, kinakausap din po niya.
He was there to try and ease the tensions if possible and discuss and further push the idea that America has for these humanitarian pauses to allow more aid in, to allow more of those foreign nationals out. And so he was sharing that message as well in an area, by the way, that wasn't real receptive to that message. There were protests leading into Blinken's visit. They didn't want to see him there.
Jay, let's talk about that joint statement overnight. Comes from 18 UN agencies and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, calling for...
So, nanawagan ang lahat mga sangkay ng mga leader na sana mahinto. Kasi may mga civilian pa rin po sa Gaza. May mga tumakas na mga sangkay mula sa kamay ng Hamas at mula sa utos ng Hamas. Pero may mga natitira pa rin po doon. So, kaya sinusubukan po nilang mag-usap-usap kung anong magandang plano mga sangkay. Kasi anumang oras, ang Israeli military forces, inaasahan daw po na papasukin na po ng sabay-sabay ang Gaza. Oh, nawala ng boses. Alright.
What else did that statement say, and how is Israel responding to this?
Yeah, Israel has said repeatedly, and you talked about this, Joe, that they are going to continue this fight until Hamas is gone. That they
Grabe, no? Pagpapatuloy ng Israel hanggang sa maubos po talaga. Mabura sa mundo ang Hamas. Talagang buburahin ang lahi nila.
are going to continue the strikes and continue to seek out and destroy, their words, Hamas, where they are. This report from the UN talked about the shock and horror. That's part of the report. At the spiraling number of lives lost and torn apart, rockets traumatizing families is part of another section of this report. And they focused for a bit in this report on the lives lost when it comes to UN workers, more than in any other conflict in the history of the organization on the ground in Gaza. And then they did stress that there's got to be more aid moving in, a more steady supply of trucks bringing food, water, medicines, and medical supplies. And that's got to be established immediately. As you guys talked about in the intro to all of this, they closed it by saying enough is enough.
Grabe, no? Yan po yung mga... Ilalim po yan, mga sangkay. Nakita nyo yung kabahayan na yan? Yung ilalim po niyan, mga tunnel, yan po yung kampo ng Hamas. Sipin nyo kung totoong may puso po sila sa Palestinians, bakit ba naman sila dyan magkakampo? Ang ibabaw, mga civilian. Grabe.
In Gaza.
And real quickly, Jay, we know in Gaza the bombings are still intensifying. The health ministry in the Hamas-controlled strip says at least 45 people were killed in a strike at the Al-Maghazi refugee camp. What do we know about that?
Well, the IDF says that they're still investigating that explosion, and they haven't really responded to how or why it's happened, though they continue to say that Hamas is hiding amongst civilians. They're using them as shields, and that's created some problems with their strategy.
Ginagawa po kasi talaga nilang panangga yung Palestinians.
Have surrounded Gaza City.
Itong Hamas.
As you talked about, expect to be inside in the next 48 hours. And what they expect to find there is a lot of the operational structures, a lot of the facilities they are using to organize their fight against Israel, and they hope to eliminate those facilities as well as they move in.
And CIA Director William Burns also arriving in Israel today. All right, Jay Gray.
Okay. Sa ngayon, mga sangkay, ang Gaza ay napapalibutan na po ng mga sundalo. Lahat po ng border. So, anytime mga sangkay, sabay-sabay na po sila papasok. At ngayon, sinusubukan na po nilang isa-isahin ang mga tunnel na lagusan nitong Hamas. So, ano po ang inyong opinion? Just comment down below. Now, guys, I invite you to please subscribe my YouTube channel. Sangkay Revelation. Hanapin niyo po ito sa YouTube. Then click the subscribe, click the bell, and click call. Ako na po yung magpapaalam hanggang sa muli. This is me, Sangkay Janjan. Palagi niyo pong tatandaan that Jesus loves you. God bless everyone.